So, this is a game where every time I make a mistake and die, the team takes a massive, massive hit. So you can really see, I think in this one, the swing that comes just from a single person dying when previously they were not. It's a pretty interesting game. Very poor skill execution from me. We're over on Reaper. Now, just a little note about the Terror build that I played yesterday. One of you did mention in the comments, apparently all that came in with the patch notes about Terror being buffed wasn't actually implemented. None of it. So even though it's on the notes, through testing, people have realized that nothing's changed. Which would explain why I've not seen anyone playing with Terror or being any good with Terror. Why when I played that Terror game, I didn't see any kills come through fear. I've seen nobody else score kills through fear. It's not just lack of creativity. I think it's that people have basically caught on. The whole patch was not a thing. So hopefully the devs fix that. At some point, we'll go back to it. And I figured I'd play another Reaper game. Because I wasn't really up for anything where I'd have to think too hard today. And, well, we will see. The other thing was I did almost go Firebrand. However, one of the things I assessed with my composition was that these guys would all be a pain in the ass to support as a Firebrand. Perhaps. I don't know for sure, but generally the more stealth, flighty, mobility-oriented people are, the more frustrating it will be a bit. So, yeah, I just decided to go Reaper. I'm not really intending to be a side noder here. As you guys know, I've mentioned many times I don't actually value this as a great side noding build, but I'm going to be on sides a lot. I also think that my team rotates very weirdly, so we'll see, right? So we got the Ranger pushing fire as a duelist. Makes sense. And you're actually going to see that the enemy team does the same thing. So I walk in, I see what we've got. There's immediately a Mesmer. I want some Shroud instantly, and I want to pull him into my allies so we can blow him up quickly in case they're not looking. And you can, in fact, already tell that Mesmer wasn't looking. So I do the interrupt. He opens aggressively, too, with a pistol 5, which I'm going to cleanse with my well, and I'm just going to stand in the well here to continue ripping Condis. I drop the Elite here. I don't mind doing this. So Lissa will mean we flip all these Condis into boons now, which is good. And also, when you do it against a Mesmer, you get lots more packets of damage, which means more rolling stabs. So if a divert comes in on me later, I don't have to worry too much. So he tries to come back on in. Obviously, he's outnumbered and played way too aggressively. Now their Ranger comes in, late as all hell. And so he can get grinded down, even after we got full cap. So just a pathetic play from the Ranger there. And we just decide to move forwards. I'm a little bit low in mid, and I noticed that we've all kind of swarmed this and basically given it to them for free. Our Ranger hasn't accomplished anything on his far point, but I think he's outnumbered there. So it's kind of okay for him to be holding those two. As you'll notice, we only have the Firebrand. Really dumb play from me here. I Spectral Grasp, obviously, when he has Aegis up, which was really silly. This guy hadn't been engaged on at all, so he would have had that fresh open there, and I could have just looked. Anyway, so I get on the node, drop the well. Do a bit of Shroud pressure, but really quite poorly. Again, skill execution is quite bad here. Go with the Corrupt well. So I kite off here when the enemy Reaper comes on, and I just opt for range damage. So the Axe plus the well, I know it's enough. I'm even going to selflessly use the Well of Power here over the bodies. Just so that my guys are fine. Here I see this guy's rezzing, so I use a Whale of Doom to interrupt it. It actually does go through. I know that it's very likely that will go through, because if this Reaper had stab, it would have been reversed by this. So it's likely he's free for a regular CC. We cleave them all down. I'm thinking this looks pretty good. I leave. Going back to close. And so this is it. This is the big moment right here. I kind of become the close point holder now, which isn't what I want, but because I'm the first one to get off the node and use my brain and get going, I kind of end up in this situation. Now, I say that, awesomely, our Mesmer, who picked up close initially, did portal back into home. So, this is really, really good. Now, we're in a classic situation here. Back when I first started PvP, and this was a thing that was really just starting to get established, and I always fondly smile back at, there's kind of a thing with Mesmers that, like, their duty is to get back, but they always have a problem in that if they've just come out of a mid-fight, as this guy has, they can be low, they can have cooldowns up and stuff, and then winning a 1v1 on the back of it's really hard. So they do generally want a plus. Realistically, it should be my Thief offering that plus, but they went for a big fight around on the roads, which I was considering assisting, by the way. This was the better play for me, though, because my Mesmer ally was never going to survive against this Ranger, ever. He's super low, and in fact, you see, as soon as I get here, he gets point-blank shotted. He tries to stealth away with his Signet, but the rapid fire will track to him anyway, and he goes down. So that's fine. I decide to go aggressive here. I know that he's going to take the jumping puzzle up here, so I'm going to fear him in the middle of it so that I can get free pressure while he's on the way, chain the CCs, do a bit of damage, and now I'm going to go back to the body just after we make sure that the range is a little bit scared. We have our elite coming up soon as well, which was really what I was waiting for in the first instance. I was hoping to use this for stab and then I could go for the res, but I've been chilled and stuff and it's slower, so whatever. We come back. I take a corrupt well over him so that he hopefully would get crippled and stuff. He doesn't. He drops his heal, which splashes a muddy terrain on me, which I can cleanse with the well, but it's going to be too late by the time I do. And in fact, I was spamming it there and it wasn't executing, and I don't know why. So I ended up just wasting it. Here I come back just to make sure that the node wasn't on 0 cap. So that's a bit of lack of awareness from me. It was fine. I come back, though, and I realize my Mesmer's dying again. So this Mesmer's just not going to do anything. Here I noticed that the Ranger disappeared, but it's obvious the Ranger was going to push close again, right? The Ranger has been very healthy while he's here the whole time. He's been able to chain evades, get off the node. And like I said, I'm guessing this is a thing at the moment. Farpoint Ranger harass. So, the second I see that stuff, I know he's going to be there. So you notice I don't keep charging forwards. I know he's not just bloodthirsty for that Mesmer that's now off screen. I know he's coming here. So I drop this here because I'm hoping to catch him, but he's much faster than I anticipate. I can't even pull him back. I get on the node and I have to 1v1 the Ranger here. We are slowly creeping ahead now, so that's good. I think our thief may have stole this boss or something, because we do have the boss at Bath. I'm not sure exactly how that went. But yeah, so this 1v1, I got no idea what the matchup is like. Again, a bit like with the Mesmer thing, throwing this out, I kind of like, because you get the double targets or whatever. Maybe there's a better time to use it, but look at the boon spam ArenaNet sort of having the game now. The odds, I'm not very good, let me say, at looking through that in the moment and seeing if stab is one of these and then knowing to hold off, so I just go for it. Keep pressuring, he doesn't have weakness. Go for the blinds. And here I'm actually thinking, oh, this is okay, because I wasn't feeling confident on this at all. But I was feeling okay, we get a great corrupt chain there. And if he kites back, he's screwed, so he has to walk towards the nodes. Spiteful Spirit can finish this guy off. And we take the 1v1, basically. Our Mesmer on respawn runs back. I missed my dunk there. But he goes down. So I know now with this... So here a Mesmer, you just saw the red flash. I didn't catch that in the moment. So I'm going to fight the Mesmer. Let me just finish this point here about the Ranger. I know that the Ranger's just been grinded down in a pretty unfortunate way, and the team's not doing too well. If he's a reasonable player, he's at best going to give one more attempt on far. And if I can beat him again, he'll probably change up his rotations. So... well, that's what's going through my mind right now. I'm still not that confident, and I did have a plus at the end of that. So, what I'm hoping is I'll win the next one if I'm in that position, and then I won't have to deal with him anymore. Here a Mesmer jumps me. Again, we get burst really hard. I just face tank all of this. A single dodge would have helped so much, but I just eat it all. So what the plan is to stand in my well of power and watch how I don't use WSD or really even any skills here. Watch how I'm even holding this, just because I wanted to make sure that confusion wasn't there before I really go for it. He interrupts the well, so my delay actually was poor there with the divert. So I have Shroud to go into. This Mesmer's being greedy in amongst all of us. Beautiful awareness from my ally here. Watch this. Watch how he stands with me. And he even drops a heal near me. I don't know, is this a healing spring or something? I'm not sure. Is he the Ranger? Anyway, it's for a bit of cleanse. I was wondering if he did. Anyway, so yeah, I come back. I'm going to be healthy, but I don't know whether the Mesmer's there. Now I'm in a weird position, and I'll just let this play through. Basically, I don't know whether that was the enemy Mesmer's portal or ours. I didn't catch it in the moment, and even here on the post commentary, I didn't think to look. I don't know whether that's the portal, because remember, we opened the game with our guy on that portal. So I don't know whether it's my friend. Either way, I reason in my open in a second, I can just skip into mid. If the Mesmer is smart and he sees I'm standing here, that's fine. But also, we had the Ranger, who we anticipated coming back, and indeed he did come back. So here's my second 1v1 with the Ranger. Missed one of my wells, which was really bad. Missed the Spectral Grass, which is really bad. I used the 3 because there's no line of sight on it. We get a really good kill with the 3 soon. Preemptively cast this for no real reason. Pretty pathetic, to be honest. That's probably a bit of muscle memory from back when I used to run Blood, and you'd get protection on the well, and it was actually worthwhile, and you get life steal on the well as well. So even if you weren't under any stun or condi pressure, but there I really should have held it. Here he gets some good pressure on me, and I see a bit more of what his build's about. But I get my really, really nice life rip there on the combo with the 2. And, yeah, he's melting again. We managed to sustain one. Here you go. So, he kites around the corner. And if he's going to run this way, I know I won't be able to hit him for a while. However, I immediately pop the skill 3 because the skill 3 won't be hit. And remember, the skill 3 double ticks when the enemy is low on health. So, the first packet was here. You're watching the second packet now. And it was actually the skill 3 that got the kill there with the 2 hits. So that's good. I immediately turn around because I haven't been watching this line of sight here for ages, and I don't know whether someone's just come in behind me. I haven't, like, got a good grip on that side of the game. Here I come onto the rock, and I use Spectral to hit the pet and him. I know that the pet will be going for a res soon, so we do have to cleave that. But we've also got this Mesmer nearby. That was a clone. We press F1. The Ranger got up already? Did the Ranger get up? I thought the Thief was dealing with him. No, he did. He did. He dealt with him. Okay, right. So, yeah, the Thief deals with that. We move forwards. Pushing on up. And we've got a reasonable lead now. But the only... this isn't a good lead, in my opinion. Our nodes have been really weird, what we've earned and why. And the only reason we're in it, really, is because we've had chain successes at close. So, anyway, finally I go mid. And now I'm really comfortable coming mid. You might be like, wow, WP, you've left close open. And the flow of this game is that you've had it. But I'm pretty confident now that that Ranger won't go back. Or at least that's my hope, anyway. And besides, that's not the role I want to be. We want our portal there or whatever. So here, I dodge off again. Really, just bad play from me. Bad play. I don't know. My brain's a bit slow today. Bad stuff. I come over. We should be doing what a Reaper is born to do right now. We wanted that Greatsword 4 down, but we got interrupted. If we had the Greatsword 4 and then we get to do the big whirl, we can do big damage. Finally, we get on and do some pressure, right? Which is what it's all about. We get a double kill here. Here's another guy. We're going to pressure him down. I go for the Spectral Grass to pull the Mesmer off because he's just jaunted onto the ledge. Doesn't mean anything. I jump with the skill 3 here, hoping to cleave through if he's low. It doesn't work. Ranger took Beast, I guess. Our lead is sort of still kind of crappy. And now you notice, as I'm wandering back, I mean, I started moving back very early. Again, my team's still moseying about on mid when really we should have been moving quicker. I realize... someone else has pushed far this time. It's the Mesmer. And again, I eat his pistol 5. These wouldn't be a problem at all. So here, I can use this through the wall, and it's fine. I'm hoping here that what's going to happen is I bait him in, he panics, and then I can grab him. But he's actually more interested in full capping the node. So he doesn't. But now he stealths, and I realize he is going to walk into my field. So I try and Wail of Doom him while he's in stealth. But, of course, he just uses one of his baked-in evades, so that sucks. Here, we're really Condi pressured. We're going to hold in the well and hide in Shroud at the same time. Cleaving around us. Everything's cleansed. Straight into our heal. He messes up his next pistol abilities. Precast the Elite, which interrupts him and cleaves all of his clones down mid-animation. Spectral Grass to try and chain some more CC. The same thing as before. We do this through the wall to interrupt him. Greatsword 4 again. F1 gives us the spike proc. He's low. We know that we kind of have to go aggressive. I don't want him jumping back up. I fear back through the wall. There's the Gravedig. Here, I should have turned. If I turned, I would have been fine. You can see how there's just some slight fiddliness and just poor play realistically from me. And that Mesmer probably won that 1v1 there. But again, I get saved by the plus at the end of the day. However, look at them. This is why my team frustrates me a little bit. Because they care so much about bosses. This is the complete wrong way to play this map. We could have won this game really comfortably at this point, as in we could have got a really good snowball and that would have been it. But they keep let's just be very, very clear, guys. No one's down on the board, and we haven't had any deaths for a while. We have 5 established players on the board. I'm one of them, okay? And I'm responsible for this flipping, all right? Because I was in my 1v1 and I let him get the full cap there. But nonetheless, without any deaths on the board, the enemy team has just 3 capped us. And no deaths in recent memory either. That is pathetic. That is some of the worst rotating you could possibly experience in Conquest. A lot of people blame their losses on poor rotations, when realistically it's just that they're losing a lot of fights, and that puts so much stress on everything else. This is bad rotating. This is awful. And this is what happens when you go for bosses too much. And I'm sure whoever was doing that, and we had like multiple players on this one, right? I'm sure whoever was doing that is sitting there right now in this moment of the game, very smugly satisfied that, oh, look at the amount of points we have, almost 100 over them. Well, let's see how this goes, shall we? So it's ludicrous. I go over to the node. My allies are following me, but there's no need to follow me. They knew on far. Thank you. So I grab this. To be honest, I'm wrong here, I think. I think I should have let him pick this up. This is me signaling to him that I want to be on close all the time, when he could have come here and ported or whatever. He does establish one. I don't know. In fact, no, he's already got that established, right? That's at mid. I don't know. The thing is, he was losing his other ones, so maybe I should have more faith in him. Anyway, he ports back to mid. Maybe a thing that might have been on his mind is to stand with me. And then if he delayed that port by about 3 or 4 seconds, I could have immediately snapped into mid, and we could have neutralized across the board as well, which would have been really good, because I could have helped him 2v1 down that necro that's in mid right now. So I don't know, there were plays available there, and maybe my ping put him off. You notice that my allies here are unable to cap the enemy spawn. They just keep it nuke for a moment. So right now we're at status quo victory, but not for 2 seconds longer, because they're going to take their home and they'll be back on double cap. So we just have no momentum here. Oh, this was a nice play. Hold on, let me go back. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong place. So as we walk into mid here, I look down to the road to make sure nobody's coming. I notice that I've got a Mesmer that's being forced away by a Necro. And here, under the arch, we see an enemy Mesmer. And what I immediately do to the enemy Mesmer here is the Axe 3. Which will cripple him, and you see how we get in combat? We see, what I use to see if I go in combat is I look for this bit of yellow stuff over my endurance bar. As soon as I saw that, I went into F1, because I know that now that I'm in combat, entering Shroud will do that same animation again, basically. So we've chunked him twice now, and frustrated him, yeah? Miss all my Shroud stuff afterwards. We take the Axe 2 for some life force, and he distorts it. Once again, we've got good... Okay, so here is my... I mentioned at the start, if I make a mistake, we can see how this affects the game, right? We are in a very flimsy lead right now. So far in the game, I have not died. I have not pushed an engagement. I cannot win, and I've been all right, okay? Been saved by a couple of pluses, realistically. Here, I knew in the moment... I can't even make an excuse for myself. I knew in the moment my Mesmer was leaving. And I knew in the moment that I was kind of out of gas here in terms of allies right now. And there are 3 people here. It only looks like 2. And this looks really juicy, doesn't it? Because look at how low the firebrand is. And all the corrupts we can do. And oh my god, it's like the dream here. But there is a Mesmer still here, obviously, that we were just chasing. So I push into a 1v3. This is nothing good about this on my end. The diverts. So here, I realize my mistake. I pull out, and the idea here is to heal well here, do the jumping puzzle over here, which I'm pretty comfortable with. I can even CC with my elite when it comes up in a second. So we take the dodge towards it, and I get dunked for a 7k crit from the enemy Reaper. And now my guys come in, and I've turned what should have been a good 3v3 for us into a staggered 2v3. Here, I can fear this because there's no stab, which I do. The Soul Beast now should shit or get off the pot. He's attacking, so I think, personally, the Soul Beast should cleave this down now and contribute something. Instead, he stands still doing very little. I mean, look at this pathetic... What is this, a res, is it? What's the point in that? And look at how low this guy was. If all he did was a couple more attacks, we would have had the counter down state, and we might have been able to do something. I even would have had the follow-up down state well to poison that body. But we don't get anything. They're still failing on far. Here's my 9 kills, 1 death. And I know in the moment, the reason I'm on that menu there is because I knew in the commentary, I'd want to point this out, that death will swing the game now. I know it. The first, that mistake of mine will completely swing this. So, here, I'm going to look at respawn because I think someone might be crossing. But then I notice I have a downstate here. Then I notice it just got defeated, so I come back again. Thief taking side gate. Here comes the Ranger who fancies his odds again. And obviously, what else has he got to do? So, it's going to be a 1v1 with the Ranger 2. That was an attempt with the Axe 3 through the rock. My dodge there was just to get up a little bit. I go for the pull, but he has stab. Having the stab, I know that my well will do well. We can force him off the node, so he will not get this decap. And my guy comes for the plus here, which realistically we don't want. We're still in the lead a little bit here. My guys die on fire again. I'm not sure what the thief's doing. Like, he could have plussed this. Oh, I don't know what's going on. It's so trashy to just, blame the thief for everything. So that's totally not what I'm going to do here. there's been all kinds of problems, especially on my end. Honestly, you're not really seeing, in terms of skills, the greatest stuff here. So anyway, we try and push the Mesmer away. I'm concerned that the Mesmer's gone back to close. My Mesmer is also concerned that the enemy Mesmer's gone back to close. So he's walked back to the nodes. Here we're like massively over-zerging this Ranger for no reason. Ranger realizes it goes back. Firebrand pushes the line, which is kind of nice, honestly. With the Firebrand pushing the line, the Ranger comes back up. I mean, it's just a bit of a nightmare really now. And look how long they've had double cap with us only on one. They've managed to troll us around. Again, another push to far. They get a neutralization there, at least. Here, he goes down, and I think he wants me to come down as well so he can kite up. What I think he's hoping to do is muddy terrain me as I climb up. 99% confident. So I just stand up here because, hey, I'll just hit you from up here. So he decides to swap to his longbow or whatever. I get jumped by the Mesmer again. That time I can't really blame myself. I didn't notice them coming whatsoever. Standing still, making sure I get my cleanses. I know the Mesmer will still be watching me. Make sure we get the blind out at the start. Mesmer decides to start kiting away. I go for a pull. It doesn't land. Fighting on close this entire time. No one's making anything happen anywhere else. I'm not being high enough impact on this fight either. I start going for the Firebrands. I realize I'm getting attacked by the Ranger, and all my guys have left to go to boss again. And now, this boss is really risky, because if they steal it, we are, like, in a serious losing position. So, they're off at boss. I'm alone, getting railed down. 1v2. I should have bailed out earlier. I didn't realize they'd all flee to go to the boss like that. So, this is my second death. So, for the past 90 seconds, you've seen me be low impact. And with that rested on my shoulders, and the enemy team going over there trying to steal the boss that we're spending a million years trying to kill, and they get the steal. So, yeah, we lose this game. Hopefully that was obvious. There's no way to win this anymore. The thief actually gets a worthwhile decap, and they did something on far. But there has to be a decap here. There has to be a decap here within the next couple of seconds. Now, you'll notice that the Firebrand was up at this engagement here, right? The Firebrand was there. So all my team has to do now is come decap. That is the win condition. They have to follow, step for step, pace for pace, that team grinding them down so that on respawn, I can help swing the fight and we can get that neutralization. Who's got the smarter team? Okay, my Ranger continued walking towards mid for no reason. The Mesmer is being chased away by the Ranger. And, of course, what can I do? Nothing. There's no opening there. By the time I get to the node, oh, look, the Firebrand and the Mesmer are sitting there completely unharassed. And, yeah, that's the end of the game. So, yeah, I don't know. This game could have been very, very different had I more aggressively been going to mid or something. I don't think they would have done anything well on close, though. But, yeah, so there you go. This is, so this is actually game 2 of today. Game 1, I won. But it was a 4v5, so I'm not going to show you a 4v5. There was nothing impressive or fun about it. So I won a 4v5, and now I've lost this here. Top damage, despite being, well, I don't know, being in that dueling capacity, you can grind up a lot of damage sometimes just because people don't die. 9 and 2, and it's these 2 really, guys. If I hadn't done these 2, I could have just about kept this shoddy shit show of a game in there, but I didn't. Top revives as well with just 1 revive, which is hilarious too. So anyway, there you go. Another game. Let's hope for some fun ones soon. See you tomorrow.